felt drawn to her, without knowing exactly why. She wasn't the loudest in the room, the most glamorous, or even the most talkative. Yet something about her made you pause, wonder, and want to know more. That's the power of mystery. It's not about playing games or hiding who she is. It's about the subtle magic she carries without even trying. Men aren't always captivated by what's obvious. In fact, what attracts them most are the things they can't quite figure out. The silent confidence, the unspoken emotions, the depth behind her eyes, and the way she carries herself with quiet strength. All of it forms a kind of spell that pulls a man in. He may not understand it right away, but he feels it. She's different. She's not here to impress. She's here to exist fully. And in that self-assured existence, she becomes unforgettable. In a world filled with noise, she becomes the calm. In a world chasing attention, she becomes the mystery. So today, let's uncover the 6 most mysterious things about a woman that can deeply attract a man, not through effort, but through essence. There is a rare kind of power in a woman's silence that words can never capture. It isn't the silence of submission or weakness, it's the silence of presence, depth, and awareness. When a woman chooses not to fill every space with chatter, when she listens more than she speaks, it creates a magnetic pull. A man becomes curious. What is she thinking? What is she feeling? Her silence doesn't create distance, it builds intrigue. In a world where so many rush to be heard, a woman who embraces stillness becomes a mystery he wants to understand. It's in the way she observes, the calm in her eyes, the way she smiles without explanation, or pauses instead of reacting. That silence creates an emotional space where a man feels both challenged and invited. He wants to lean in, to break through the surface, to earn the right to hear her thoughts. Sometimes, her silence speaks of wisdom. She's not reacting, because she's reflecting. Other times, it speaks of strength. She knows she doesn't have to explain herself. And often, it speaks of peace. She's grounded enough not to prove a point. In a relationship, this kind of mysterious silence becomes a sanctuary. It signals emotional maturity, self-control, and mystery all at once. A woman who knows how to wield silence can stir a man's mind far more than one who uses endless words. Not because she's cold, but because she's in tune with herself, with the moment, and with her worth. And in that quiet confidence, a man doesn't just feel attracted, he feels drawn, fascinated, and hungry to discover more. Her silence is her secret language, and it speaks directly to his heart. Louder than any words ever could. There's something incredibly magnetic about a woman who carries quiet, unexpected confidence, a type that isn't loud or boastful, but deeply rooted within. This confidence doesn't come from how many compliments she gets or how many followers she has. It comes from self-acceptance, from knowing who she is and what she brings to the table. When a woman walks into a room, without needing to dominate it, yet somehow all eyes find her, that's the mystery of her confidence. It's not in her clothes or her posture alone, but in the way she moves with purpose, not performance. She doesn't shrink herself to be liked, nor does she overcompensate to be noticed. She simply is. And that authenticity, that unshakable calm in who she is, leaves a man wanting to know what fuels her. He begins to ask, what has she been through to become this sure of herself? Her confidence shows in subtle ways, the way she says no without guilt, the way she laughs without seeking approval, the way she speaks her truth even if her voice shakes. It's unexpected because it's not based on external validation. It's earned, lived, and felt, and that's what makes it so attractive. A man finds himself wanting to protect her, yet realizing she doesn't need protection. She chooses who she lets in. Her confidence doesn't demand attention, it commands respect. That air of mystery around how she became this woman is what holds his fascination. It challenges him to step up, not just step closer. Because confidence, especially when it's quietly powerful and self-contained, doesn't just attract a man, it inspires him. In a world where many try to impress by being loud, a woman who impresses by simply being whole becomes unforgettable. 1. Of the most mysteriously attractive things about a woman is the depth of her emotional layers. She isn't an open book that's easy to read in one sitting. Instead, she reveals herself, slowly like chapters of a novel you can't put down. She can be warm, nurturing, and affectionate, yet still carry a sense of emotional privacy that makes a man wonder what's beneath the surface. This balance of openness and reservation is captivating. It shows that she feels deeply, but doesn't give her emotions away carelessly. A woman with emotional layers has likely been through experiences that taught her to protect her heart not out of fear, but out of wisdom. She doesn't overshare just to feel connected, and she doesn't pretend to be someone she's not. She's real, yet mysterious. And that mystery makes a man want to be the one who earns her trust, who gets to see the version of her that the world rarely sees. It's not that she hides herself, it's that she values her emotions enough to reveal them only to those who prove worthy. A man finds himself feeling both challenged and honored to be let into her inner world. Her layers also make her emotionally rich. She can feel joy, pain, love, and vulnerability with an intensity that gives her a rare kind of presence. She's not emotionally needy, but emotionally intelligent. And that self-awareness, that quiet complexity, draws him closer. It keeps him curious, keeps him guessing, and most importantly, keeps him growing. Because to love a woman with emotional depth is to constantly discover something new, something real, and something meaningful. And in a world full of surface-level attraction, her layered heart becomes the mystery that leaves a lasting impact. There's an irresistible charm in a woman who knows how to play with a man's mind, not in a manipulative way, but in a playful, intelligent, and flirtatious manner. She isn't trying to confuse or control him. Instead, she engages him in a dance of curiosity and challenge that keeps him on his toes. She knows how to spark his imagination, leave little hints, give him just enough attention to keep him intrigued, and then pull back with graceful mystery. It's the way she raises an eyebrow with a teasing smile, answers a question with a question, or suddenly changes the subject when things get too predictable. These small mind games create tension, the good kind. They make him feel alive, alert, and invested. He can't predict her next move, and that unpredictability becomes addictive. She's not playing with his heart, she's engaging his mind. And that mental connection builds attraction in a way physical beauty alone never could. What makes her even more magnetic is the balance she maintains. She knows when to flirt and when to be serious, when to challenge and when to comfort. These shifts in energy keep a man constantly interested, wondering what she'll say or do next. She's fun, but she's also deep. She's witty, but never cruel. Her playfulness shows confidence, intelligence, and emotional control, all incredibly attractive traits. It's not about games to manipulate. It's about connection through contrast, light teasing, and the thrill of discovery. Through this dance of words, gestures, and timing, she creates a unique experience, a relationship that feels fresh, fun, and full of mystery. And for a man, that kind of connection doesn't just capture his attention, it holds it. Asterisk. There's something deeply mysterious and attractive about a woman who has her own world filled with passions, dreams, and curiosities that light her up from within. She's not waiting for someone else to complete her story. She's already writing her own. Whether it's painting, reading obscure books, hiking alone in the hills, studying the stars, or building a quiet business, her passions give her a glow that no makeup ever could. A man watching her talk about something she loves without trying to impress, just purely because it brings her joy, is witnessing something rare: authenticity. She's not defined by anyone else's opinions. She finds fulfillment in things that are hers alone. That independence, that sense of purpose, makes her a mystery worth exploring. This kind of woman doesn't chase attention. In fact, she often seems completely content in her own space, doing her own thing. That's self-contained. Energy is powerful. A man finds himself wanting to know what excites her, what drives her, what keeps her up at night dreaming. And the more he sees her immersed in her passions, the more he realizes she doesn't need a man to give her life meaning. She chooses to share her world only with someone who adds value. That's not only mysterious, it's magnetic. Her passions also make her dynamic. She's always growing, learning, evolving. She doesn't live on autopilot, and that spirit of curiosity keeps the relationship alive. A man can't predict what she explore next, and that unpredictability keeps him engaged. She becomes more than a partner, she becomes a source of inspiration. And in a world where many look for love just to fill a void, a woman who is already full becomes unforgettable. Because when she invites a man into her world, it feels like a privilege, not a right.